Folks, in recent weeks, the US President Donald Trump has escalated military and covert operations focused on stopping drug trafficking. And his administration has had Venezuela in its sights. There's been a series of lethal strikes on fast boats off the coast of Venezuela, which it's claimed had been carrying narcotics. And yesterday, the president said land strikes could be next.
But we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control. We've had a couple of days where there isn't a boat to be found. And that, I view that as a good thing, not a bad thing. But we had tremendous amounts coming in by boats, by very expensive boats. You know, they have a lot of money, very fast, very expensive boats that were pretty big. And the way you look at it is every boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives.
Well, joining us live now is Latin American specialist Robert Evan Ellis, who advised the State Department on Venezuela during Trump's first term. Robert, good to have you with us this morning. So, usually when you think of cartels, you might think Mexico. But how does Venezuela stack up?
Well, you have two different groups that have been designated as terrorists under U.S. law. One is Tren de Aragua, which is basically a group that really is preyed on desperate Venezuelan migrants, of which you have almost 8 million having gone abroad, including to U.S. cities. They've brought a lot of violence through human trafficking. But the group that's the focus really right now with the current activities against the drug boat is Cartel de las Solas. It's easier to think of Cartel de las Solas as kind of a criminal franchise in which Nicolas Maduro and his cronies being in charge have really allowed a series of different activities to take place. The production and transit of drugs, also illegal mining activities, extortion of remittances, etc. But a good piece of that results in cocaine and other drugs going to Europe, but also going to the United States. And so it's that designation of Cartel de las Solas with Nicolas Maduro at the head, and that focus on stopping the drug boats and really stopping the organization that's the focus of current U.S. operations.
So pretty powerful. I mean, I was going to ask you how powerful they are in Venezuela, the gangs, and your suggestion there is that they're pretty powerful. Are there many links to Mexico or other countries?
The primary link with Cartel de Solas, of course, there are global links to any number of groups, but a lot of Colombian groups are linked because much of the cocaine, but not all of it, comes from Colombia. But you have other groups, the First Capital Command in Brazil and the Red Command in Brazil and others in various smaller groups. And of course, so you also have the question of the linkage to groups that do the distribution of cocaine and other activities in the United States. And so there are some facilitation links through Sinaloa and Jalisco Nueva Generación, the two major Mexican cartels, but the primary link is really through Colombia.
So how much of a difference, and you just heard Trump talk about this too, he says not many boats in the water, I'm not surprised really, but how much of a difference do you think these strikes are having?
Well, certainly the 5, possibly 6 strikes that have been made thus far have acted as a strong deterrent. There was reports that the drug runners, as President Trump himself indicated, are changing their routes, more air routes, more routes through container cargo shipping, and some changes in routes. A lot of the drugs that don't go through the Caribbean that are headed towards the United States go through the Pacific, often launched from the southwest coast of Colombia or the north or the Pacific coast of Ecuador. And so there has been some routes and there's been some suspension of activities. I think they're probably holding some of those shipments while they wait and see what happens.
Do you think the threat is serious about ground strikes in Venezuela, or is it just a threat, do you think?
I would say 50-50 at this point. What's clear is that it's not just about the immediate drug boats, but it's really about the organization that's permitting these criminal activities that prejudice the United States, not only in terms of the drugs, but also in terms of the migrant flows that have been pushed out and other activities, including Venezuela hosting its major geopolitical rivals, China, Russia, Iran, Hezbollah. And so my sense is that there's a determination to put an end to the Cartel de las Solas leadership and as an organization. And so I think as we move up the escalatory ladder, that could include ground strikes against individual targets. But I think at the end of the day, I would not discount the possibility of a larger operation, not an invasion, but a larger operation to essentially grab and bring to justice those key leaders, such as Maduro, such as Diaz del Cabello, such as Jorge and Delcy Rodriguez.
Interesting. Robert, thanks for your time.